Yeah, that's okay. We're direct to Austin right now. Yeah, for 2 Tango Mike, the RNF 23. Okay, we'll cross Austin at or above 5,000. Clear for the RNF 23 approach at Gainesville for 572 Tango Mike. Looks like we're going to have a pretty good crosswind for runway 23. 3-knot headwind, 10-knot crosswind. See how that works out. Okay, we will report cancellation of IFR for 2 Tango Mike. We'll see you IFR cancellation. We'll squawk 1200 for 2 Tango Mike. Well, that's not what I said to him, but we're visual, so I'll take it. All right, we're on comm 2. I don't know, maybe I said it wrong. I was intending to let him know that we would cancel IFR when we got on the ground, but that's okay. A little misunderstanding. I didn't want to correct him. He was kind of busy. I had intended to keep the flight plan. Like I said, that's all right. Winds are getting pretty choppy. We need to slow down. Really choppy. Should be on the second column. Let me make sure so. Yeah. Gainesville traffic. Bonanza 572 Tango Mike RNF 23. Gainesville traffic. to make our turn. I believe it's 1800. Yeah. No. 2900. What am I thinking? Alright, go ahead and start now. Activate approach mode. Yeah, man, is it getting hot here. Yeah, I need to check the altimeter here. We're at 3016. So increase it just a bit. So it's been a little while since I've been on Vat-sim, but they are now using the CTAF frequencies or Unicom frequencies, the actual frequencies, instead of 122.8 for uncontrolled airports. Holy cow. A lot of turbulence and thermals right here. So I'm using my phone, using Navigraph on my phone, so it's not up on the computer here. Our missed approach is 3,100. It's too difficult to use the Navigraph on the computer on Vat-sim because you're constantly having to look at it and watch stuff in the aircraft, and it just tends to cover stuff up. Right, here comes the glide slope. We'll go ahead, we'll go gear down, flaps to approach. With the prop full forward, mixture's full rich. And the autopilot has coupled. Let's reduce the power to about 21 inches. Gainesville traffic, Bonanza 2 Tango Mike is on a 5-mile final on the RNAV 23 Gainesville. You know, now that I think about it, I might have actually come across as though I wanted to go ahead and cancel the IFR, but what I was trying to tell him was we'd cancel the IFR when we got on the ground. But like I said, I didn't want to like correct him. He's, you know, these guys, they're on Vat-sim. A lot of times they're really busy. So that surprised me when he came back and canceled on me, but that's okay. Sometimes in these busy areas, it's hard to get. Let's go ahead and set our missed approach altitude. It's hard to get a word in edgewise as it is, and most of the time what these guys are dealing with, flaps full, gums check, gas on the proper tank, undercarriage is down, 3 green, mixture full rich, prompts full full. Most of the time what these guys are dealing with are people in, you know, the airlines. They're flying big jets, and you know that's what they're used to. So when you have a GA aircraft come flying in the mix, sometimes they don't necessarily forget about you. They just have a hard time keeping up with you, and sometimes they don't get you down to the proper altitudes when you need to be at them and such. So try to help them along the best I can so that they don't forget about me. But that's okay. I still have fun with it. This is a terrible crosswind. All right, we've passed. There's our minimums. Autopilot's off. Woo. Boy, these winds are rough right now. Strong crosswind. A lot of wind shear. Come on, baby. Oh, man. Oh. All right, powers to idle. Try to take this crab out. Right there. Come on, baby, come on. Come on. Ooh, man. Holy cow. Well, we are on the ground. That's good. Get the flaps up. Not the landing gear, but the flaps. I'll put the transponder in standby. My anti-ice is off. Put the RPMs up. And we'll lean the mixture. Taxi lights. Landing lights are off. Strobes are off. And we need to get the cowl flaps open. Let me look at my after landing checklist here. Wow. Landing after landing. Cowl flaps, flaps, lights, pitot heat, air conditioning. Don't need it. Cabin heat. Go ahead and turn this bin off. We'll suspend that and we'll delete this flight plan. So yeah, I did a full Vat-sim flight. And like I said, sometimes these guys don't, you know, sometimes I have a hard time keeping up with the general aviation aircraft. It seems like, I don't know, maybe this is just a wild guess, you know, 75% or more of the flights that they handle, I need to get rid of the flight director, are all airline traffic. I've never played the role as, what the heck is going on here? Look at you. What am I supposed to do about you? Huh? We're gonna get past you. Look at you, still coming. Still coming, for those of you who are not from the South. Look at that. Practically have to run off the taxiway. I have no idea where I'm parking. I'm just kind of driving up here somewhere. Now we're going to cross the runway. Put some additional lights on. And we'll turn them right back off. Nothing like an immersion killer to see this kind of crap. Oh well. What was I saying? I don't know. Yeah, the general aviation aircraft, you know, trying to work them in. They have a bit of a structure going with the departures and arrivals and all this with the big airports, especially with like Atlanta Center. So you get a little guy like myself flying into some random airport. Sometimes it takes them a minute to adjust to figure out what needs to be done. That guy did pretty good. And I don't know, I have to go back and check. I may have accidentally told him to cancel the IFR. I don't think I did. Rather than, I will cancel the IFR. In other words, I was just trying to let him know I plan to cancel the IFR once I get on the ground. But, I mean, that's why I'm flying the Vat-sim, to for the air traffic control part of it. Otherwise, I'd just be flying in the sim. Okay, so let's just shut down right here. Parking brake is on. Get the avionics off. Taxi lights are off. Throttle to idle. Mixture idle cutoff. And we'll go ahead and pull the prop lever back. Standby. Alternator off. Primary and battery off. And we'll put the ignition to off. And the nav light off. We'll leave the beacon light on. And that's my flight. If you've never tried Vat-sim, try it out sometime. You know, I've had my ups and downs with Vat-sim. I tend to fly general aviation aircraft. You know, at one point I flew the airlines, you know, PMDG aircraft. I really like to fly all that, but it's kind of the norm. It's kind of the normal thing with Vat-sim. Like I said, I would say 75% or more of the traffic on Vat-sim is all airline traffic. And I just really like to, I just like to mix it up first off, but secondly and more importantly, this is the type of flying that I actually do. I'm not an airline captain. I don't have an airline transport pilot's license, so I enjoy getting in there and doing this. And sometimes it's, I find myself on a lot of GA flights in Vat-sim canceling the IFR long before I reach my destination because they don't get me down in time. I'm not on a standard arrival like they're used to. So, and I've never played the role of air traffic control on Vat-sim, nor do I have any intentions to. So I don't know how they orchestrate things exactly, you know, to get someone like me down to the proper altitudes. Like if I hadn't said anything, I don't know when exactly I started the video, maybe in the descent, but I had to request from the initial Atlanta Center controller a lower altitude because I was coming up on my VNAV that I had put in for the approach, and if I didn't start down, I was going to overshoot that big time. And I've done that before in Vat-sim. Just waiting on the controller to get me down, and they would delay that or forget about me or just not know, you know, I'm coming in at flight level 230 in a turbocharged Bonanza, and they're not used to that, and I'm not on some arrival, so I don't know how they determine when to start me down. You know, I have VNAV, so I know. So I usually just help them along, and what I did was I was approaching my VNAV path, so I just told him, I said, hey, I'm at flight level 230, I need to get down to, and I just picked an altitude, a safe altitude, so I just said 11,000, and he approved it, you know, and I started down to 11,000, so, but anyways, I have fun with it. If you've never tried it before, and you're in, you know, a flight sim enthusiast, I'd like to say don't be scared of Vat-sim, but I will also say this. You probably should learn quite a bit of the air traffic control system, communicating and all that stuff. It really helps a lot. You really need to study up on how Vat-sim works, the top-down type of air traffic control that they use, which is not what we use in the real world, but there's not always, you know, a controller for all the regions, for every approach, you know, tower, ground, clearance delivery. So they have this top-down structure that they use. And in some areas, you're talking to a center controller the entire time. So you never swap frequencies to tower or approach or ground, that kind of thing. But I would encourage you to learn it and try to know your stuff in the aircraft, because when you start falling behind, especially a complicated aircraft such as this, and I say complicated in the sense that this aircraft is built and designed, the software in it is designed to simulate what you actually deal with in the real world with this aircraft. So there's a lot to deal with, And if you're not ahead of the flight or ahead of the aircraft, so to speak, you know, you start falling behind, and then the communication side of things starts to deteriorate. I can't talk. And then it just gets, you know, sometimes most of these controllers are pretty chill about things, and they don't get too upset at you if you have a hard time with something. They know you're struggling with it. They try to be patient with you, but at the same time, they have a lot to deal with on their side. So if you are giving them so much trouble that it's obvious that you haven't learned enough about the air traffic control system or your aircraft, you probably should just disconnect and go back and learn a bit more before you get on something like Vat-sim, because it's a quote-unquote simulation. So they don't like a bunch of jargon on the radio, and there are people that monitor what's going on, administrators, and they will disconnect you if you get on there jacking around too much. They want to keep it. The whole purpose in the Vat-sim is to simulate real-world air traffic control environments and procedures. So I appreciate that. I think that's one very cool thing that did not exist years ago when I got into flight simulation. But it's pretty cool, and the controllers, for the most part, I would say 99% of the time, they stick to what they're supposed to, be doing. They act as an air traffic controller, and they don't get on there and just screw around or troll people. If they did, they wouldn't last very long. And same for pilots that are flying around in Vat-sim. You're not going to be flying for very long if you're trolling around on Vat-sim. This is not the place to do it. There's far too many people that take it far too serious, and that is the purpose of it. So try it out. I know it's scary, especially when it comes to talking to people, air traffic control or other pilots, but study, learn the lingo, if you will, and try it out. It's actually quite fun at times. So that's all I got for you. Hopefully this is not a terribly long video. I know that if I had recorded it from the ground up, it would have been a very long video, but just wanted to, throw a little piece in there, a little action in there for you guys. So I hope y'all have a great day. We'll catch you later. Keep the blue side up. This is Blue Sky Pilot signing off.